What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing an Icejade deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely fun deck to play that have included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can come pro notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. So without further ado, let's go and get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of a Greenie. A Greenie is definitely a 3 of in the build because this card is an awesome fact that if this card is normal or special summon, you can actually add an Icejade spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to grab the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Ran a Greenie. Ran a Greenie is definitely a 3 of as well because this card helps you go in for any of your level 10 synchro plays with the ability that this card lets you discard one of their Icejade card or a water monster to special summon this card from the hand. Then you can special summon an Icejade token that's an aqua water level 3 with 0 attack and 0 defense, helping you go in for your synchro plays because with that token, you can actually use your Ran a Greenie that's a level 7 tuner to help you step into a synchro play. We then play 3 copies of Tremora. Tremora is definitely a 3 of as well and just such a powerful card in this deck because you can actually send this card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon a water monster from your hand. And if a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle by card effect while this card's in the graveyard, and actually banish this card to special summon an Icejade monster from your hand or your grave, except a copy of Tremora. We then play 2 copies of Cosmochlor. Cosmochlor is great as a 2 of in the build and just helps out a lot in the deck overall as an extender and a boss monster that if there's a card in the field spell zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, while your Icejade field spells on the field, monsters your opponent controls can only activate their effects the turn they are summoned. And if your Icejade monster battles an opponent's monster, that opponent's monster loses 1,000 attack during damage calculation only, which is a great effect just to drop your opponent's attack points down to help you go in for game. We then play a single copy of Kingfisher. Kingfisher is great to be able to equip on your copy of Cosmochlor because this card actually lets your monster attack while it's in defense position. With the ability, you can actually target a water monster you control and equip this card from your hand or field to that monster, and also letting your Icejade monsters equipped with this card attack while in defense position is such a powerful effect to be able to use, especially with your copy of Cosmochlor having 3,000 defense points. This card also has a great ability that while this card is equipped to a monster, you can actually target a monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to the equipped monster's defense points, and special summon this card if you return that targeted monster back to the hand, which is a great effect to help you bounce cards off the field. We then play a single copy of the Icejade Creation. Icejade Creation is great because this card actually has a quick effect to be able to equip to one of your Icejade monsters, and it also gives you a little bit of a boost because while this card is equipped to a monster, the equipped monster gains 400 attack and defense points for each banished monster, which is a great ability to be able to use. We then play 3 copies of Swamp Frog. Swamp Frog is really good in this deck as a 3 of because this card actually helps us step into totally awesome extremely easily. You can special summon this card from your hand by discarding one other water monster. Also, when this card is summoned, you can actually send a level 2 or lower water aqua monster from your deck or face from field to the graveyard, which you're always sending to the graveyard your copy of Mirror Mage. Mirror Mage is great to be able to play in this deck as a 1 of because when this card does touch the graveyard, it actually lets you search from your deck to your hand your copy of Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier, which is a monster reborn for Ice Barrier, which is great. And your basic combo for your copy of Mirror Mage is what you want to do is summon out your copy of Swamp Frog, send your copy of Mirror Mage to the graveyard, and then search Freezing Chain from your deck to your hand, activate Freezing Chain, bring back Mirror Mage to your side of the field, and then once you do, you're just going to overlay your copy of Mirror Mage plus your copy of Swamp Frog to be able to make a totally awesome on your side of the field to give you a walking negate before you go in for any of your other plays, which is insane to be able to do because you don't even have to waste your normal summon for that play, which is crazy powerful. We made a single copy of General Ryo. General Ryo of the Ice Barrier is a great one-of in the deck, and it's so cool to actually play Ice Barrier monsters in the Icejade deck, which is just really cool. But this card is great to be able to summon off your copy of Lancia, which is such a powerful card to be able to make in the deck, and it's so easy to make in this build with your copy of Rana Greenie that we just have to play the copy of General Ryo because this card is crazy. It has the ability, when your opponent activates a monster effect, they have to discard a card or the effect is negated, which is actually insane for this card to be able to do. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build to basically just stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then also play 3 copies of Mulch Army Fluros. Fluros is definitely a 3-of as well in this deck to basically just help us dig in the deck for the exact cards that we need, and it's a really powerful hand trap. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is great as a 1-of in the build to get the exact monster we want in the graveyard, like a copy of our creation. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great as a 1-of in the build to basically just use this card to stop our opponent from hand trapping us while we're going in for all of our plays. We play a single copy of Freezing Chains. Freezing Chains is amazing in this deck. Help us bring back our copy of Mirror Mage from the graveyard back to our side of the field so we can go in for totally awesome. We then played 2 copies of Icejade Manifestation. Manifestation is a very cool card in this deck and just super good to be able to play as a 2-of in the deck. That if you control a water monster and your opponent has a monster on their field or graveyard, you can actually take an Icejade monster from the deck and either send to the grave or special summon it, which is a great ability to instantly bring out an Icejade to your side of the field. We made 2 copies of Icejade Curse. Icejade Curse is a great 2-of in the build and just an awesome card to help you lock down your opponent with this card, plus your copy of Cosmoclore, with the ability that while an Icejade monster and your copy of your Icejade field spell are on the field, your opponent cannot activate the effects of monsters that were summoned that turn. With your copy of Cosmoclore and this card on your side of the field along with your field spell, you can basically make a one-sided skill drain, which is crazy. Also, when a monster is destroyed by battle involving your Icejade monster, you can target one of those destroyed monsters and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack, which is great to do some burn damage. We then play 3 copies of Icejade Cradle. Icejade Cradle is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card is basically the Rhoda for the deck. We then play 3 copies of Icejade Eon Cradle. Eon Cradle is awesome as a 3-of and is actually our field spell for this deck, and this card is so important for the build. The ability, when this card is activated, you actually get to add an Icejade monster that's banished in your graveyard back to your hand. Also, once per turn, if a monster is normally special summon, you can actually target a water monster that you control, and that monster, along with any face-up monster that your opponent currently controls, loses attack equal to targeted monster's original attack until the end of this turn, which is a great effect just to drop your opponent's attack points down, while also dropping a card like Cosmoclore down so you can turn it into a copy of Egyptian God Slime, which is really interesting that you can actually do in this build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 3, and that's going to be 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is definitely a 3-of in the build, just to basically stop your opponent's monster effects, and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Grandma Greenie. Grandma Greenie is awesome as a 2-of in the build and just such a powerful boss monster to play in this deck. This card is so interesting as a boss monster and also is the 3rd form of a Greenie in this deck. We play a single copy of Lancia. Lancia is awesome because you can use this card to help you bring out your copy of General Ryo to your side of the field to help you control the board, and also this card can float into Trishula, which is crazy. We play a single copy of the Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign. Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign is so cool in this deck, and just an awesome boss monster to be able to make that makes your monster get even larger depending on the amount of banished cards there are, and makes your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack and defense for each banished card, which is crazy powerful for this card to be able to do. And it gets absolutely massive depending on the amount of banished cards there are, which is so cool. And my single copy of Trishula. Trishula is awesome to be able to float into this card using your copy of Lancia, which is just so cool to be able to do, and it's just probably the best target to be able to summon besides Trishula Zero, which you can play instead of this card if you want to. With my single copy of Ravenous Croco Dragon. This card is great to help you pop cards on the field and draw cards, which is so cool to be able to do. My single copy of Dragite. To use this card is a spell trap negate in this deck. It's just a great one-of in the build. And my single copy of Coral Dragon. Coral Dragon is so easy to summon, just a really good option in the deck to be able to summon, just in case you need to, and helps you draw a card. We lay a single copy of Egyptian God Slime. Egyptian God Slime is so easy to summon in this deck. This card is awesome to be able to play in the deck because it has a great ability that it must either be fusion summon or special summon from your X check by attributing a level 10 Aqua monster with 0 attack points. And you can easily do that with your copy of Cosmoclore plus your copy of your field spell, because your copy of your field spell will actually drop your copy of Cosmoclore down to 0 attack points, which is so cool that you can actually then tribute it and summon out Egyptian God Slime. With my single copy of Totally Awesome. Totally Awesome is awesome in this deck and so easy to summon with your copy of your Swap Frog plus your Mirror Mage. You can make this card super easy in the deck and just establish a walking negate. With my single copy of Typhon. Typhon's cool in this deck to basically just use this card as a skill drain for 3,000 or higher attack point monsters, and it's a bounce. With my single copy of Zelantis. Zelantis is an awesome option in this deck to help you board wipe your opponent using your copy of Coral Anemone. Coral Anemone will actually lock us into water monsters once we use its ability, and then we can basically just step into a copy of Zelantis and board wipe the field because it will banish everything, and since we're the ones summoning the cards back, it will actually make it so that we cannot summon anything but water, and if our opponent's playing anything but water, their monsters will not come back, which is super interesting about Zelantis. We made a single copy of the Water Charmer. This card is a very good option in the build, just a great one-of in the deck. And then finally play a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is again a great option in this build. So that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell in there so you can come part of our notification squad and tell what you guys think of this deck down in the comments down below. But if you guys have never played an Icejade deck before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's so fun to be able to play, and it's insane how powerful it is with all these spicy tech cards I've included in this build. So that's going to be this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of our notification squad. We'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.